So, you're me. It's last year. I have all these succulents. I'm obsessed. And my roommate is like, I love the succulents. It is starting to feel a little like a desert vibe in here. And I'm like, yeah, totally, we need more plants. Like, everyone's agreed, we just need more plants. So, and at the time too, my roommate, it was like we're connected. Like, while I was in Vegas, she had also gotten an ivy plant, an English ivy plant, and was like, oh my god, I just got this plant. And I was like, oh my god, I just got these succulents. And it was like, shh, like, we're connected, we're gonna be obsessed with plants together. So I went to Florida for the holidays in November and December. I think 2 different trips, if I remember correctly. And at that time I was like so obsessed with plants. It's like, I need more plants, I need more plants. And when I was in Florida, my mom has this like gorgeous garden with all these things growing, and she's always like, oh my god, like, I'm growing this, take these seeds. Oh, I'm growing this, take the little pups off of this. Oh, it has little babies, like, take it. Like, everything's going so great. It's Florida, it's sunny, it's amazing. We love it. Let me start getting the ones that I got out of my trip to Florida and brought back here for myself. So, starting with the fern. It looks kind of like a couple of different ferns. I think it's maybe a sword fern is the closest I've gotten. When I looked at what the adult, like, that I got it off of, my mom's bigger plant kind of was a sword fern, but I'm not 100% sure. Definitely let me know if you know the exact type of fern. This plant has done super, super well. I just repotted it. Well, not repotted, I put it back in the same pot, but it had fungus gnats. They look like they're gone, so that's good. Originally, it was only 3 leaves. It was like, well, this one, and this one, and it was just in here for a while, all summer, or all winter, and then all of a sudden, within the last, like, month and a half, it has sprouted all this new growth, all these new leaves. It has 2 more coming, and probably more. Like, I believe this is the cutest freaking plant and the cutest freaking pot. I just love it so much. Obsessed. So then another one to quickly talk about is this Croton plant, again off of a larger one from the garden in Florida. And it kind of all, as soon as I brought it here, and I brought them all here in like the dead of winter, traveled in my suitcase with them, and like, I am so impressed with how resilient plants are. That's like something I just appreciate, is how resilient they are, how they adapt to their conditions and spring back and grow stronger than before. So that's awesome. Again, all of these leaves, it had like 2 bigger leaves originally. All of them fell off and died immediately, but you know, I was sure the roots were still good. Like, they were really, really strong when I had them. So it has actually grown back all of this new growth, and it has little growths happening here, so I'm really happy with it. And then in this pot I also have some different species of Madagascar Periwinkle, which is this like beautiful flowering plant. Again, little babies from the garden. It's kind of disappointed these haven't flowered. I think they just need more sun, and again, we're inside. This will be another plant. All of the plants from Florida, not all, but a lot of them I feel like are just going to be so great on the balcony as soon as it's warm out, and I think that will really help them get more sun that they need. Before Florida, when I was still in my obsessed phase, I went to the mall, to this, I think it was Lowe's, Home Depot, whatever. I think it was Lowe's that ended up getting this one. And I got 2 plants. The other one is in the living room hanging, so I'll show you guys that one later. But the first one that I picked out was this golden ARALIA, I believe it is. Don't know if I'm saying that right. It hasn't grown a ton. It's pretty like short, but it's very cute. I love the little leaves. It does have new little growths. Like, occasionally it puts out these new little leaves. Pretty slow grower. It was super cute. Love it so much. It thrives in, I don't know, thrives, but it does well in medium to low light. I keep this in my living room, which has, I think it's a north facing window, so we don't get a ton of light in there, which kind of sucks. My bedroom is east facing, so it's good light, but it's not all day long direct light or anything, so, which kind of sucks. I do think we need more light in our apartment a lot, especially in the winter in New York, because the sun goes down at like 3:30, 4 p.m. and I am like frantically like freaking out that the plants have enough light. But so far in the spring and summer it's been like really good. I'm not worried. This one is pretty cute, has just kind of maintained itself. It's still in its original pot, but like it's not even root bound yet, so I haven't repotted or anything. That is this one. Is this crazy? I do not name my plants. I like to call them by either their common name or their scientific name, or like a nickname of what I think they are, because it's just like too much for me to keep track of, and it also helps me learn their names, like their actual names, by doing that. Is that crazy? Do you guys always name your plants? I tried at the beginning and then I immediately forgot what I named the 6 succulents, and I was like, it's not for me, I can't do it. Maybe if I wrote them down, I don't know. The other one I got on that trip was a prayer plant, a Maranta, and that one has grown so much, so great. So I'll definitely show you guys that later. Back to my Florida adventure. So this is another one I got from the garden. This is one that I really just do not know what it is. It was a little baby off of a bigger one, and the closest I've come to identifying it is that I call it my corn plant, because like it kind of just looks like a corn plant, but I have no idea what it is actually. The care I give for it is similar to the care I give to everything else, which is water when dry. You know, some of them that are more tropical, I keep a little more moist. This one has not grown a ton, because I do keep it in the darker living room. This is a new leaf. I found it in the shade of the garden, Florida, so that's kind of where I picked up its light needs, and the bigger plant was also in the shade. Funny story, when I came with all of my plants, I had like all of these and not nearly enough like vessels or pots or anything to put them in, because I had a lot of them just like bare root. So we just like were putting plants in the most random containers. What I do like about the clear is that you can see what the roots are up to. There's like wax from a candle that had gone here, and I think that does kind of help protect it a little bit. You can see the roots, you can see they're not like rotting or sitting in a lot of water. I like make sure to water it very delicately, and then I kind of like drain from the top too, any excess, and I can see when it's like thoroughly moist and when it's thoroughly dry. So it's actually like very helpful to put it in here, even though it does not have drainage holes, but I'm not too worried about it. And then if I do see it, kind of see here the roots, if I do see it become root bound or anything, I'll definitely repot it, but it's just one of these like little ones for the living room table. So this is one of my favorite plants. I feel like this is a plant that not a lot of people have or talk about as a house plant, but I think it is honestly the most gorgeous house plant if you're able to find one or get one. So it's got these vibrant purple under leaves, super gorgeous. Oh, I forgot to say, this is a boat lily is the common name. I cannot pronounce the scientific name. There are a couple of like different kind of species of boat lilies that you see, but this is one. It was much smaller when I brought it. It was like 3 leaves, and I had accidentally dropped it with like off the shelf, and which knocked off half of this leaf here. It has grown so much, it actually flowers. Here it's kind of like closing up a bit, but it's like a white flower, which is just gorgeous. Dark, deep forest green tops, like it's so gorgeous. I painted this plant. I like to paint a lot of my plants that have a lot of fun colors and things. It's just so beautiful. I just have it in this pot here. I think it might have a little bit of root rot, so I'm gonna like monitor this pretty closely. I just repotted it from, it was in one of these like smaller pots, but I don't think the drainage holes were good enough for it. So now it's kind of in a bigger one. Again, does not have drainage holes. I need to get more pots. It's just gonna be kind of difficult to get them with like everything going on, and getting things shipped isn't necessarily that easy either. So I do need to get more pots and probably deal with this again. But for now, it's in here. The roots aren't very deep. They're probably like, they're pretty shallow. They're like here, so I'm hoping that will help with the root rot issue. I'm like, I see fungus gnats flying around, so annoying. I have a video where I try to deal with some of them, and probably, no, I don't have a breakdown in that one. I feel like I have a breakdown in some things, but maybe not that one. Kind of. No, it's fine. Yeah, a little bit of a breakdown. You know, I'm not gonna have a breakdown in this video. I love, 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 love this plant. Again, in my mom's garden, she has like some bigger ones of these as well. And I've seen them when I was down in Mexico, like they are kind of tropical plants, so I saw them in Mexico, and they get like really tall stems going on and all that. So I definitely recommend this plant. It's pretty easy to take care of. I also keep this one in the living room, and it has grown a lot, but I do at times put it in my bedroom. I move my plants a lot whenever I feel like I just want them to all have fair amounts of light, and if any of them look like they're kind of starving or hungry, I'm like, let me put them in my bedroom where they get more light. I do move these plants a lot. Now that I'm home all the time, it isn't that hard. When I was working in the office every day, especially during the winter, I tried to keep them all by the window all day because I would come home and it'd be pitch black and I was worried when did they stop getting light. Now I can kind of see how much light they got all day and I'm less worried for sure because I'm like, oh, there's pretty good light in the living room, it's fine. That covers this table. I'm just gonna finish my bedroom before I bring you out to the living room, even though I'm not showing you exactly the order I got this plant, but they're kind of close. This is my snake plant. It is just 2 little leaves here, and they actually had just repotted them maybe a couple weeks ago because they were propagating, but I do have this like new growth here on the Sansevieria, which is pretty cute. How I got these was at my old office again. There was a neglected, mistreated, in a back dark corner snake plant that was pretty big, and unfortunately couldn't save the whole thing, but I did take these little babies to propagate from it, and they're doing pretty well. I can probably show you guys what the propagating roots look like. I think I have some footage. We call this plant bunny ears because they look like little bunny ears, super cute. They've done pretty well. You know, this one I'm not so sure about. The roots are like super small in this one, but this one I'm pretty happy with, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 new growths, so that is really exciting. Another Florida plant I'm sad to show right now because this is not the best state that it's been in. I don't know what all this is. I call it just like an arrowhead plant. I do have 2 different species like in the same pot. You can kind of tell by the, God, don't look at this leaf, by the stems there. So this is the one that I'm more certain is some sort of arrowhead plant, syngonium kind of thing. This is not the best it's looked. Maybe like a week ago it was double the amount of leaves, and they all started to do this, like what I'm showing you now, where they like bent, and I was like, I just have to cut them off. Like there's no way this is gonna survive, and I haven't cut this one off yet because I had already cut like 5 off, and then I saw this the very next day and I was like, what's happening? If anyone knows what this specific plant is and why stuff like this happens, please let me know. I repotted it because it was root bound a few weeks ago, which I was like, okay, it's gonna like lose some leaves. I've had that happen before, but it had sprung back, so I'm not too worried. But again, here's like a closer look at the leaves. It also kind of looks like some sort of arrowhead. Again, from a garden in Florida, so, and it has like much bigger things. I've seen maybe that it's like some sort of like giant Toro or something like that. Again, I don't know it specifically. I do have a lot of new growth coming. There's a new growth there. This is a new leaf opening up over here. It very quickly puts out new growth. The day that I saw that this was like 10 leaves, I was like, wait, what happened? Because I brought it as 1 leaf. Or maybe 2, yeah, like 1 or 2 leaves, and they all died, and I was like, this isn't gonna do well. But it has, like, I think the roots were still strong and healthy, and it just like sprang back. From my experience, it seems like I keep having to prune off leaves and then new ones will come and all that, but I think my other problem is I did have this in a hanging thing, and it was like maybe 2 pressed against the window, and that was probably not good. I'm not sure. So I'm gonna just try to keep it in my windowsill. I'll prune this off later. This is also a new leaf. So if anyone can better identify this plant, definitely let me know. But I think it's so gorgeous, and it reminds me of Florida, which I need. Y'all know what this is. The Pothos. I don't know how to pronounce it. I kind of like Pothos better. It just has like a more majestic vibe to it. This plant, again, from Florida, it's like a mix of different ones that were growing out there, and I believe this is golden Pothos, but it seems like there's like different species going on because I have a little bit of like variegation here on this one and on these leaves here, like that. This has grown so much. I might have an original of what it looks like, but it was like not doing too hot. This is all new growth here. I have new leaves coming along all over the place. They're not variegated, the new ones that are coming. Love this plant, super easy, grows a lot. I can't wait for it to be huge and I can take more cuttings from it and make it a little fuller on top and everything. Love this plant, I have it hanging in my window. This is a really, really great plant. If you don't have any, I don't know, I can't imagine that you guys don't have any. This is one of the well-known popular plants out there. Definitely super easy to take care of. I water when I water. I don't even know when the soil's dry. They like to get really dry. That is this plant. And I think I'm pretty much done with my bedroom. Oh, just kidding. There's like 2 plants sitting right in front of me that I've been staring at that I haven't showed you guys. This is an Alocasia Morocco. I got this, I think in February at a store in New York City as a gift from my boyfriend. I really, really wanted it. My dream that day was to actually get an Alocasia poly or elephant ear, and I couldn't find any, but I saw this one and it fulfilled that dream of mine a bit, so I got it. I'll be honest, this plant has kind of not been the easiest for me. I don't know if I have like the best conditions here for it, because I know it is more of like a tropical plant. I have had, this is like half of how full it was before. These leaves just like die, and I've heard that with the Alocasia, like the leaves go dormant and you'll see them all die one by one, but then like the bulb you can still plant. I haven't gotten to that point yet. I haven't had any new growth. All of these like little ones under here were there originally, and actually I had a lot more that died. A lot of like browning here, which I know can be caused by like the minerals in the water that you're using. But then I have had them just kind of like start to droop and come off, and I've had to prune them off. But I do think it's a gorgeous plant with like really gorgeous leaves. I just don't know what my trouble has been with this plant. You know, there are just some plants that you can't really deal with. I feel like maybe if I had it in Florida, it'd do better. It'd just be like warmer, more humid, more sunlight, all of that. Right now, I love it, but I am scared that this plant will slowly drop all of its leaves. But here it is. My newest plant, I just recorded a video with it. I'll kind of repeat the story of what happened with this. So this is a Pilea pepermoides, or Chinese money plant, friendship plant, goes by a lot of names. I just kind of, well, I tried to repot it and then I ended up putting it back in the same thing because it was like such a mess, but I did take out like 3 of the pups to kind of propagate from here. To wrap it up, I don't want to say it again, is that my boyfriend breaks my pots and he drops them or whatever and is like, oh, I'm so sorry, and tries to go and replace them. And so when he went online to buy me new terracotta pots that he dropped, he also got me this plant to make up for it, because he was like, I'm sorry, I love you. And I was like, if you love me, you wouldn't keep breaking my pots all the time, but just kidding. And so he got me this. It showed up looking like absolute, like a wreck, like an, I was like devastated. So again, a plant that we ordered online, which I know can be tricky with like shipping and everything, but it was just clearly like mishandled. Half of the leaves had died and falling off. I like don't even want to show you this side of the plant. I'd like to show this side, because this side isn't as sad as this side. Half the leaves had been ripped off, fallen off. There was like dirt everywhere. It was just really sad. I was just wanting to repot it because it was looking so ugly and messy. That's really when I have my breakdown, because I'm like, what am I doing with this plant? I think it's super cute. It was on my list for a while. I'm not hating it so much right now that I'm looking at it. Before I was just like, oh, like it just made me sad to look at, because I was like, I know it was like, it probably was so beautiful and full before, the amount of dead leaves I saw come out of there and the amount of pups that had fallen off. So it was pretty disappointing. I hopefully will be able to revive it and bring it back to life. I will definitely keep you guys posted on my journey with this plant. That's my newest plant because I haven't been able to go to the store to buy anything. Everything's closed. I was able to order this one online, and I'm like 50-50 for my success of buying things online. Hasn't been great, but not bad. I think we can jump back. I believe in my nursing skills on this one. I think that is everything in my bedroom. The other thing, I have a whole window lined with bulbs that I'm growing, because that's like the most light I get. None of them are blooming yet. There's just some growth, kind of disappointing. But again, those are plants that I will hopefully be able to put on my balcony once it's warm out. All right, let me take you to my living room. I'm going to give you a little tour of the plants as they are now. I did put back a lot of the ones that I had in my room just now. So again, I move my plants around a lot, and this isn't where I always have them. This isn't their permanent home for a lot of them. Some of them, yes, but I just want to kind of show you a little bit of my living room and how I have things set up here. Here is one of my roommate's plants. This is a heartleaf philodendron. So we have it kind of hanging on the chandelier here. She got this philodendron at the same place that I got the Alocasia Morocco, but it is just so gorgeous. Has these beautiful velvety leaves and tons of new growth all the time. And another one of her plants that we have hanging here is the English ivy I was talking about earlier. This one has gotten so big. It was really so little. It was like this little guy here when she first got him, and he just does well in wherever we put him, so love Pip. And here is our pride and joy, the bird of paradise, the giant white bird of paradise. This guy is so gorgeous. This leaf is brand new, just unfurled like a day or two ago, and there's another growth there. This one we ordered online and it came and looked super good, probably like a month ago now, and it has just been one of the best decisions that we've ever made in our lives. So love, love, love. This is probably our biggest plant, and we definitely want more big plants after this one. So this is I believe a parlor palm. I think it's labeled as something else though. Yeah, a parlor palm. This is again my roommate's plant that we got at the same place as the alocasia and the philodendron, and it has kind of had some leaves die off of it, which is kind of sad. I don't know if we're in the conditions to give tropical plants like the best possible life. It's been doing much better in the living room. So I forgot to show this one to you guys earlier. This one I usually keep in my bedroom, but I have separated from the bedroom because it has really bad fungus gnats right now, and I'm just trying to kind of keep it on its own, quarantine it if you will. This is a Buddhist pine, and it is pretty big. It's like always leaning. It's like our little leaning tree, which is super cute. Let me see if I can get an up close of the leaves. Some new growth here, which is just lovely. Really, really love this plant. It's another one I got from Florida as a kind of baby off of a bigger bush that's there. These everyone loves in Florida. It's like the suburban dream to build your wall with this. So moving on to this window is this spider plant that I just put here, and a macrame hanger that I made myself. Let me know if you guys want to see how I made these. I have a bunch. This was a tiny, tiny, tiny little baby, and it was like in a little mason jar we were growing in. It has gotten so, so, so big, and I just love it so much. It grows so well. It is, again, it was a little pup off of a bigger plant. I think I brought it from Florida. There she is, or he, I don't know. It, they. So I simply love this plant. Super cute, it's gotten so big. Now of course we have one of my orchids, my moth orchid, in the window. I had another one that is just leaves down there. I had to cut the stem off. This one is still doing really, really well. It's still good. I got it at like a Whole Foods. It's quite beautiful. I don't know much about orchids, but I've been trying to kind of do my best with them, and this one has done pretty well. The other one, all of the blooms fell off and I had to cut off the stem, so hopefully new growth will come. But they kind of are like a living bouquet. Like if you need to get another, I obviously want to be better with orchids, but I'm still very, very beginner. Okay, pretty much last but not least is this is the plant wall, which has a lot of plant art as well. I painted that recently of the boat lily. Can you see the resemblance? And then I have some photographs of some plants, and some more that I've painted. On the top is the prayer plant, one of my orchids, the bird of paradise, and some interpretations of ferns. But yeah, you saw a lot of these plants earlier, but this is kind of like the shelving area that we usually have some sort of plants on, if not these plants. And then of course, the lovely prayer plant. So this one was one I was saying earlier that I got with the ARALIA, like Lowe's I think, and I have repotted it, and this is just in a cover. This is the cover pot, but it's in a nursery pot in there. And it has gotten so, so big. This is all new growth. I can hopefully show you guys what it originally looked like, but it was like super small. But this is probably one of the favorite plants in the apartment, if not, I mean all of the plants are the favorite, but I just love the way this one looks. I love how it moves. I love how much it's grown and how big it's gotten. It is just amazing. And then here is where I have a lot of my propagation as well as the succulent garden. So that pretty much covers the plant tour of my apartment. It was more like introing you to the plants because I didn't take you around the apartment very much. Not clean, sorry. Please let me know if you know how to identify any of them that I have not identified. I think I pretty much said all the ones I knew, but you know, I don't know anything. I tried to know things, I tried to research things, but obviously if you guys have any information, please, 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 please let me know. I would really appreciate it. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.